Okay. So let me know when we come on. You can hear me? You can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great, great. Hey, everybody, how's it going? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are. Karen is here.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, and so we're back to paint again. And I got this this reference from that site I had posted earlier. I believe it's still in the links below. There's a site called Earthworld, where this photographer takes all these pictures of people in these amusement parks and from different places, and he posts them online. He posts them mostly in Instagram. That he has a website, and what happens is that people on Instagram, they love these photos, and they wind up using them and posting their work on Instagram and sharing them, and then he likes it too because he collects those and he posts it on Instagram and on his website, you know, and so it's fun. It's great reference like you see here. So anyway, that's what I'm going to be painting in gouache.
Okay. Well, Greg Gouache is with us.
Hey.
He says, hi, Gil. Hi, Karen. Hey, man. How you doing?
Wow, he's got an early start. That's 2 times in a row. He got an early start here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's cool. That's cool. So I am just going over the darks here with a combination of burnt umber, vermilion, and ultramarine blue. That'll give me my dark.
Oh, okay. Mm.
So you originally thought this was me, huh?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. It's the beard. That's what did it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done a self-portrait on the live stream, and I think in a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I did one when we first started out, but I haven't done one in a bit.
Okay.
Maybe I ought to do one. Self-portraits are kind of fun to do.
Yeah, you like self-portraits?
Well, it's
I like it when you get inventive, you know, and you paint yourself as a Union soldier, and what else you have done?
a pirate.
Yeah, a pirate, you know.
When I had the beard, it was easy.
Say again, you had the beard.
The beard, it was easy to see myself as a pirate, you know.
Yeah, that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what? The weather's so funny. I guess the storm clouds just traveled
Uh-huh.
in this location and it just started raining. It just was pouring a minute ago. And then all of a sudden it was like the clouds disappeared and the sun came out for a little while.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm looking outside again.
And it's dark again.
And it's dark again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when you go visit other places, I remembered when I was young, and we took a trip to Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
And I remembered that sometimes it would rain there several times. It's like these showers would just be, you know, popping up, but it'd be short bursts of rain, and then then you go out and do whatever you were gonna do.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. Okay. Um, mhm. Mhm.
So I had a new idea of how I'm going to carry out, because sometimes I am not able to finish the painting by the end of the stream.
Uh-huh.
So I'm thinking that why rush, you know?
Oh.
So
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna get done as much as I can, and do it as well as I can, and then worry about what I didn't finish later on.
Oh, okay.
Because I think a lot of times I rush things when there are time constraints. I
Mm-hmm.
think I got to get this done within a certain amount of time, and then a lot of times when I do that, it doesn't turn out the way I want it to.
Okay.
It just turns out however it turns out. But I think that since I know that my time is limited, and I may wind up having to either redo the painting or touch it up again depending on how it comes out, then I might as well just take my time, and then whatever I wind up with, then I'll fix.
Okay. Well, I don't know if this is an idea. You know, you can do the portrait, and whatever you didn't finish, you could feature it again on YouTube as a speed video. I don't know if that's a good idea or not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would have to recover the video, which you can do. Recover the video from the live session, and then put it together with whatever else I decide to do.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, we have a comment from Wootinator.
Okay.
Wootinator? I like the way that's spelled out. You should see it. But anyway, he says, incredible art. Your skills are understated. Keep doing what you do.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that encouragement.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
That is. Okay.
No, I was just thinking about today.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't seem to get my mind off it. I had for you guys that don't know, I had went to a funeral service for my first cousin,
Mhm.
you know, and I just love what they said about her obituary. It
Mm.
was read out, and she was, you know, so loving, you know, and this cousin, I didn't spend a lot of time with her, you know. She's my cousin, but you know, we didn't spend a lot of time together. But I last saw her in September, you know, and man, you know, it's just it was unexpected. Her passing was unexpected, and she was young. She was young. She just had celebrated a birthday. You know, and I guess I'm just thinking about all the, you know, awesome things they said about her.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Uh-oh.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Should I answer it?
Yeah, check and see.
Okay.
Okay, we have a building where sometimes.
Who is it?
Okay, well, sometimes people just ring the bell to get in, and say they lie and say they're UPS or they're Federal Express or they're Amazon. So we go through that every now and then. We just stop opening the door for just anybody.
Yeah. Especially when they say it's me.
Yeah.
Like, who's me? It's me.
Me, I've been waiting for you.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Well, Greg always want to know, what is the grammage of this paper?
The grainage.
Oh, okay.
Is that the grainage?
Oh, okay, I see it.
It has a slight tooth. This is a, let me see if I can get it out here. This is a printing paper. Let's see. Where did I put it? Oh, is it up here? Okay. Here we go. This is from Strathmore. Strathmore printmaking paper. It's heavyweight. It's 280 GMs. I'm not sure what that is in pounds, but it's their 400 series. It's heavyweight printmaking paper. It's very. I like painting on this. And it's got a slight. It's got a texture. It's a very thick paper. So.
Okay, well, he adds, if you drink too much water, it wrinkles.
Yeah, if I put too much water on it.
Yeah, it doesn't wrinkle.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It's a good weight. It doesn't what do you might call it? Doesn't get warped. Is what it is. So, oops, I just messed up my white. Okay, so my white is going to be red for a while.
Okay, well, he says okay.
Yeah, this is a good weight paper. I don't like using paper that is very thin for gouache.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like using something that's substantial. Yeah, I went out recently and purchased some paper, some different paper. Oh, excuse me, for gouache, particularly for gouache painting. And what I wound up getting was that this paper here, the printmaking paper,
Right.
And some watercolor paper that is hot pressed. So it's something nice to paint on.
Okay. So, yeah.
Uh-huh.
It looked like a rust color on the face.
A what color?
A rust color.
Oh, okay.
A orange and yellow.
Uh-huh.
Well, I shouldn't say orange and yellow. A red and yellow, is that the
Okay.
colors you mix together?
Well, let's see. Yeah, it is a yellow, but it's not like, it's called Naples yellow. It's different
Oh, okay.
than the regular type of yellow and cadmium orange.
Okay. Okay, well, Greg always wanted to know, if I wanted to try to paint with gouache, which one should I start with?
What do you mean, which brand?
Okay, uh, he said, which one should I start with?
Okay.
If you wanted to paint with gouache.
Okay, I'm thinking he means brand.
Okay.
Okay, if you're talking about brand, it all depends on where you are, because for me, there are a lot of materials readily available. I'm noticing that for other people that may not be so. So, but in any case, I will tell you what I generally have
Okay,
is
he's talking about paper.
paper. Um, I mean, I like anything that's heavyweight, that is preferably 100% cotton. If I were you and you're just starting, I think one of the better papers to work with is a hot pressed, because it's more of a smooth surface. Um, Hot pressed watercolor paper. Let's see. And where is this? I haven't even opened this up yet. This is what I bought. It's hot pressed, right? It's 100% cotton, so it's acid free. It's archival. It's really great paper, and This is a watercolor block, and this is 140 pounds. So this is 300 GSM. This is actually heavier than this one. But I wouldn't get anything below this. Anything below 140 pounds. You can buy. This comes in. What's this? Arches. Arches makes hot press paper. This is really great. For a long time I bought Arches. I bought this because this was on sale and it was quality, so I said, hey, let me go ahead and purchase this. And it when you put the first pass with the paint, the paper absorbs the paint a bit, which I like, and so it's just nice to work with, and as you can build it up really easy. So.
Okay.
But yeah, I think hot press is a nice surface to work on when you're starting out. And then you can experiment, find what you want to try. But at least if you start with that, you'd have an idea of what exactly you're looking for. Well, first the rain was making all that noise. Now the heat is coming up and making a lot of noise. Did you notice the heat? Huh?
Oh, I'm sorry. You talking to me?
I said, did you notice the heat coming up?
You know what? Yeah, I did. I noticed it. But what I wasn't aware of, that it makes quite a bit of noise in the background. I didn't realize that.
So the building decides to finally give us heat.
Yeah, And the temperature was below, there's, I believe it's law, that if the temperature is 55 and below and you're in a rent stabilized, well, I don't think it matters what type of apartment it is. If you're renting, if you're a tenant, and the temperature goes below 55, then that's when the heat
comes
supposed
up.
to come up, or or if it's after October 15th, then you should have the heat running in your building, So whatever suites, Okay. Well, Gregor's said G300. I think that's
Yes.
Graham. Yeah. 100% cotton. I will remember similar to watercolors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So. face is coming along. It's like it's coming to life. That's what it looks like. So it must be, I don't think it's in the 60s. They said the weather's supposed to be in the 60s in the city, and you know, it's breezy out there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So it doesn't feel like it's in the 60s. It feels like it's colder than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, once you start hitting the 50s, you need a jacket. You know, in my opinion, anyway. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So. Okay. Is that a purple color you put in your?
Yeah, what is coming up purplish on the screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's purple color.
Yeah. Actually, I see it in your not palette, but dish that you.
It's a palette.
It's a palette too. Yeah, I see it in the palette.
Yeah. Yep, I did that on purpose. I made it blue and purple on purpose.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what the beard and mustache is gonna look like. Yeah. So I'm looking at your books right here, and something that pops up, that pops to my mind is Andrew Wyeth. Wasn't he the son of a famous illustrator?
Of N.C. Wyeth.
N.C. Wyeth, I thought so. Okay.
The son of N.C. Wyeth. And then he has another. He has a son himself.
Oh, Andrew.
Andrew, who's also a famous painter, and that's Jamie Wyeth.
Oh, so he's presently alive?
Yeah, Jamie's still alive.
Uh, it's great how you could pass that skill, down to
Yeah,
a relative.
NC was really, I don't know what him and his wife did, but they were really, I mean, the kids that they had two other, I think Andrew had two other sisters who were both artists. Is Henrietta wife, I think, and there's another one, and I forgot her name, but she also married I believe a landscape painter, who's also very good, and then had another daughter who was composed music. Then they had a son who was he was some kind of engineer,
Okay.
So it's like all their children achieved,
Right. Okay.
They had there was a PBS documentary on him, and the film was called The Wives. And sometimes it's difficult to find, though. I saw it like twice. I think you may catch it on. They might have the whole thing on YouTube, or they might have segments of it. But it goes into their lives, how these kids grew up with a famous father who was an illustrator, who illustrated so many. And Wyeth back then, illustrators were the thing. Illustrators had the same status that you see these pop stars and movie stars had.
Okay.
They were the thing back then. But when the movies and everything came along, and then magazines like Life magazine started using photography instead of illustration, and same thing with the Saturday Evening Post. Eventually, they just started using photography, and so a lot of illustrators didn't have as much work as they used to. So that kind of ended the golden age of illustration.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, but they were the thing. They were the first judges to the Miss America pageant were all illustrators.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they used to do things like that. And even back then, a long time ago, when you had comic strips, they were extremely popular. I'm talking about when they had, Flash Gordon and Tarzan and what else they had? I'm forgetting Prince Valiant.
Oh.
They were also very popular. The guys who drew them.
Right. Yeah, I remember the comic strips. The Sunday paper. There would be a section where there's nothing but comic strips.
Yeah, and it started to fade away in our lifetime.
Yeah. And remember when we were younger? You get the Sunday newspaper, and I forgot where the comic. I think the comic strips. It was the beginning of the newspaper.
Yeah, it was wrapped around the newspaper.
The news, right?
Yeah, and so they had what did they have back then? They had when we were I remember Dondi. Remember
you mean Blondie, right?
Blondie they had too, but there was Dondi. There was that little kid, 2 dots for eyes.
Oh, okay.
You remember him?
Yeah.
They had Blondie. They had little Abner.
Dick Tracy.
Dick Tracy, yeah.
They had this couple, I think, that had a dog.
Yeah, I
uh-huh.
vaguely remember what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of
So
the strip.
back then, those guys actually made a living doing those strips.
Can you
Yeah,
imagine?
it's not the same today, but it's sad. It's one of those things that kind of went away. But they used to make a living doing those strips.
Yeah.
You know, they used to get paid very well for them. Some of
Mm-hmm.
them, some of them were so popular they became movies. There were several Blondie movies.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I don't recall that.
No, they were very. Blondie was around before we were born,
Okay.
so they were, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, they made. What else did they do? Oh, Peanuts.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
And there was this army. Let's see. It was.
Beetle Bailey.
Yes.
Beetle
Yes.
Bailey. Hagar the Horrible.
Yeah.
Viking guy.
The Viking, right?
They had
Oh, your memory is good.
Mary Perkins. Remember Mary Perkins?
No, Mary Perkins, not a newspaper reporter, is
No,
it?
no. I don't know what the story was about, but it was some, you know. There was another one like that. And then they had Dark Shadows had a strip too.
Oh, okay.
You know, it was very popular. The artist that did it was really good at his craft. I believe his name was Kevin Bold, and really good stuff. They had now they were reprinting a lot of the stuff that we saw too, because they had what's that, the one where this mouse they had this mouse that always was hitting this cat with a brick.
Oh, Tom and Jerry?
No,
What?
they're older than Tom and Jerry,
Older?
much older.
Oh, okay.
Crazy Cat. I think
Oh,
is it
okay.
Crazy Cat?
Is it? But that was TV. I don't remember it being
No,
a
no.
comic strip.
They had this mouse that was always throwing a brick at the cat, and so what happened was the mouse would. They had they had a police officer always arresting the mouse.
Oh, okay.
You know, and the cat was just in love with the mouse for some reason. It didn't make any doggone sense. Any doggone sense, but you know, it was popular for whatever reason for a while because it was old, and it came out around the time when they first when Walt Disney first came up with Mickey Mouse.
Oh.
So for a while that was Mickey Mouse's competition, I think. You know, but as far as getting attention from the public,
Right.
but it was a whole different type of thing. You know, but yeah, these guys used to actually make a living off of that stuff, and they were, you know, the last really to me, as far as I remember, when I would keep up with it was Calvin and Hobbes.
Oh,
I loved
okay.
Calvin and Hobbes. Calvin, it
Yeah.
was really great strip. Fun to read.
Fun to read.
Yeah. Okay, so. A lot of.
Okay, just to let you know, your gouache painting is really excellent.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So Andrew Wyatt, was he, was he a good painter like his father? Or?
Yeah, he was a different painter. His father, Andrew Wyeth, was, I mean, he was really good at what he did. He was not an illustrator like his father.
Oh,
he was
no.
he was a fine art painter, and he was what N.C. Wyeth wanted to be. N.C. Wyeth didn't want to be remembered for his illustrations. He wanted to be a fine art painter.
Oh.
You know, I don't agree with his assessment of illustration, but he did not regard it too highly. You know.
Okay. And see, you're talking about.
Yeah. So even though he was serious about his craft and he was really good at it and had high standards for it, but he didn't think that was, I guess that was the what some critics would say about illustration. It was just it was not as serious as high art, which I disagree. Yeah. I mean, the fact that I have so many books on different illustrators would say that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that you're not in agreement with that statement. Yeah, you have.
With that sentiment, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Gregor's want to know, you've heard about the Polish painter and Domakowski?
Not sure.
I can't make out the whole name. Berksinski?
Okay.
Pyle? Bertskinski, Domakowski wanted to promote him in Paris at one time. The French responded, "I breathe horror."
Oh, really?
Well, okay. So, Gregor's is Polish as well. So I think that's why he's asking you if you're familiar with that painter.
I'm not. I don't recognize the name.
I hope I'm saying it right. Yeah. And Domakowski, I think that's Domachowski. I think I'm saying it right.
Oh, it's something I can always look up later, you know.
Mm.
You know, after the stream.
Mm. Mm. Yeah. Okay, I guess there was an exhibition,
Uh-huh.
and he said the exhibition was entitled "Painting Without Meanings."
Okay.
All right. Well, I see, Gregors, that you were taken by that art exhibit. So. I think, let's see, let me look it up.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see, let me put the name and see what I can find. Domachowski. Okay. Oh, this name is popular.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have to.
You can put the name and just put next to the name artist. Yeah. Just to narrow down your search.
Yeah, I'm going to. Okay. SKR. Okay. Okay, let's see. Yeah. So. Wow. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I came to a page that doesn't show his artwork, but it shows. Wow, they wrote some information on this artist, and I guess it's his website.
Okay.
it to my phone? Oh, bro. Okay. Brzezinski? Yeah, okay.
So it shows artwork on it?
Well, I'm looking at this, and it's Gregor seemed to have put down two names, and I'm looking at this. Brzezinski. Brzezinski is the artist, and there's also another name that he put down, which is Domachowski.
Okay. And that comes up separately?
Yeah, I'm looking at one of the artists. Okay. Brzezinski is the artist. Okay. Okay, let me see if I can see some of his work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. Okay. I see why he says I breathe horror, 'cause some of these are look like a skeleton, portrait of a skeleton head, but you don't see the eyes, nose, and mouth. It looks like it's been, I don't know, like this is a body that's breaking down.
Decomposing?
Yeah, that's the word. And yeah. So yeah. So I see why it says I breathe horror. Yeah.
Mm.
So what is it about that you like Gregor's? I'm interested in knowing. Yeah. Okay. This is one painting that it seems like there's somebody on the cross, but I can't see what. Okay, let me see. What's actually on the cross? I don't know. It looked like vultures or something. kind of perching on this cross, and there's a body there. Yeah. And yeah. Uh, okay. Okay. So I have someone. Okay. Um, we have someone no bueno.
No bueno?
No bueno for you. He says, for some reason, our art teachers tell us not to use black paint.
No, there is a reason behind it. There's people will tell you a lot of things, and it's based on what their experiences are. For instance, if you use, there's a painter named Andrew Zorn, very popular painter, was a friend of Sargent's and a friend of Soroya's. And one of the things that it developed that a lot of people use today, I don't know if you ever heard the term Zorn palette. And so Zorn used the palette, and in his palette he only had 4 colors. And this isn't the palette he used all the time, but this is just an example. And because it's a limited palette that people still use today on occasion, and I've used it. And on his palette he had ivory black, yellow ochre, vermilion, which is a red, and a white, and that was it. All right, so the ivory black was what was considered, or what is considered, a blue black. So it was his cool. It was his cool color. So with this, he painted, right. So the thing is that I think if I'm right, I think along came the idea with the Impressionists that you don't use black. That you're not supposed to use black. And the thing is that there's no such thing as you're not supposed to use. You're supposed to do whatever works for your painting, and experiment. And, it may turn out that you don't like to use black at all. And that's okay for you, But I think that there becomes a problem when you have a hard, fast rule of don't use black. And I've heard that. I went to school, and there are many teachers who tell you don't use black, don't do this, don't do that, and you'll never know whether it works for you or not unless you try it. It may be something that works for what they want to do with their painting, But I'm not a believer in hard, fast rules like that. Now, there's some rules that are there for a reason, but you discover them by, try going against it, see what happens. I can't think of one offhand, but I think that I definitely use black on occasion. Black is not my first go-to though, and it would be something within the mixture most of the time, unless I'm doing an illustration with calls for a black background or something like that. But yeah, I have no problem using black. But I understand there is a rationale behind it. It's a more of if you want to paint that way, then you take the black out. If you want to try a Zorn palette, you put the black in. It just depends on what do you want to accomplish with your painting. And, what works for you and the way you see things.
Well, let me ask you, was Dawn
Zorn.
Zorn? I'm sorry. Why I keep pronouncing? That's the second time I said Dawn instead of Zorn. Was he actually advocating the black color for parts of the portrait that had some type of shading? Or
No, I don't think there's that. I think there's it just solved the problem. A lot of times artists will use a limited palette as an exercise. So the thing about a limited palette is that, of course, like what it's called. Oops, I kicked this. Didn't mean to kick that. Okay. Wait till it stops shaking a little bit. Yeah, a limited palette. It's limited. So it forces you to stick to to not go crazy over the color and stick to a value system that is really what's holding the paintings together. And then sometimes you would have to come up with a substitute for the color that you see, but you never have to come up with a substitute for the value that you see, because the value would still be there. The value is what's considered actually more important than color when you're painting, because the value is what holds everything. Your values, how light or how dark a color is what holds everything together. The color, comes in. The consideration of color comes in after that, and then the color would be more about, warm and cool, something like that.
okay.
And then the rest would be about the color matching the value. Which is very, very important in the structure of the painting. So, I forgot where we were going with this.
Oh, okay. I think I was just asking you some questions about Andrew Wyatt.
Oh no, you asked me something about Zorn.
Yeah. That what the color, using the black color is used mostly for shading. Is it? That's why I was asking. Is that why he limits that palette, because the black can be used for shading?
Well, no, it's used for something more than that. And like I said, it's a bluish black, so that would be his cool color, because the red and the yellow would be warm. So he needs a cooler color to balance it. Okay, let me pull this nice big red for his shirt.
Oh, okay. So you brought out the broad brush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And his shirt isn't that red.
You said it isn't?
It is not that high in, would you say, high in chroma? This is a lot higher. I need to muddy this up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
His shirt isn't that bright.
Oh, okay.
But it is very red.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I see your point about the red. You know.
Uh-huh. Let's see if I see along the rules that many people have, some people would not want the gouache paint to be so watery like this. Like I'm using it like I would watercolor, right? And you would hear people say, "Oh no, no, no! Don't do that to gouache. Gouache should be thick." And no, gouache should be whatever works. Because the thing is, it's your painting that is important. So if it works on the painting, then that's fine.
Okay. around the shirt, that's just his, that's just a shadow around his beard, or?
Yes, you see, you don't see the shadow
Yeah,
underneath.
you know what? I'm looking at the shirt, and I'm wondering, was there something around this neck?
Ah,
You know, so but it did appear to me to be a shadow.
oh, okay.
Yeah, it did appear that way. No bueno. What do you think about measuring objects with a pencil?
Oh, yeah, that's perfectly, that's good. It's a good thing to do. You know, it's called a plumb line. Basically, or something similar to that. It's just a way of measuring things so that you can check your proportions. You know, I think it's a good thing, especially when you're working from life. It's a way of keeping your proportions uniform. See if I can move this paint around.
Okay. You may move the pen around on the forehead?
Yeah, just soften some areas and
Oh, okay. And to do that, you just add water?
Yep.
Oh.
Just water. There's enough paint on the surface already. I don't need to put more paint. Just
arching up on the forehead.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let me ask you, why do you love illustration so much?
Oh, because they were really great painters, especially in the golden age of illustration. Because to be an illustrator, you back then, you really had to be a fine artist. You really had to understand. There was guys like Leyendecker, J.C. Leyendecker, and Norman Rockwell had a very rigorous training as far as some people went to study, like Leyendecker went to study in Paris at the time, and I think one of his instructors or one of the people who led the school was Alphonse Mucha, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but it was, he was around big name people. There was another illustrator, Howard Chandler Christie, who was taught by a well-known portrait painter named William Merritt Chase. So they had a background in real on how to paint. These guys were serious about it. So back when back then, if you wanted to see some really even Van Gogh mentioned Howard Pyle, who was a teacher of N.C. Wyeth and a lot of these guys who were from the golden age of illustration. He mentioned in his a letter to his brother Theo about these illustrations he saw by an American illustrator named Howard Pyle, and he was just really amazed at the quality of the illustration. And so you had a respect for what they did.
Okay. Gregor says, if I had to give the title, it would be At Noon. And he wants us to know it is raining outside his window.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Just like it was over here a little while ago.
Yeah. looks good.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Well, No Bueno wants to know, what was your favorite art to study in art school?
Um, my favorite thing to study, I liked portrait painting, obviously. Um, I liked artists like Sargent, Soroya, Zorn, the old masters like Rembrandt and Velasquez, Rubens, gosh, and then going on up to like back again to Sargent's time. I like guys like Winslow Homer. There's you know what? It's so much, but you know, my thing it was always a mixed bag of things that I liked. I also liked, you know, comic book art and illustration and things like that. Those were always fun for me, and so I liked guys like Neil Adams and Bernie Wrightson. Um, John Buscema was a particular favorite. Always liked his stuff, and especially when he did like Thor or the early Silver Surfers. Those were the stuff of my childhood. So it's a mixed bag of things. As far as studying, though, I think I studied more about portrait painting and illustration and things like that. So
And there you have it.
yeah. Yep.
Okay. Gregor's had said, after No Bueno asked what was your favorite art to study in art school, Gregor said Andy Warhol, Jackson Pollock.
Oh, not me.
No? Oh, okay.
No, not me.
Okay. Okay. Well, No Bueno said thank you for your answers.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
Have a nice rest of your day.
You too. Thank you for coming by.
Uh-huh. So,
Yeah, I wasn't into the modernist movement when I was in school. I mean, you know, if that's your cup of tea, that's fine. You know, that's what you like. But it wasn't. It wasn't what I wanted to study. And unfortunately, it was most of what they were offering. You know, so I had when I was in college, they weren't really offering what I wanted to do. They were trying to get me to like what they liked.
mm.
You know.
You're talking about the professors?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm talking about the professors. They, you know, like for instance, when I was in school, I remember one day I was waiting for the model to set up and pose. So I was looking at a book, and it was a book that I carried around with me. I think I just purchased it, and it was on the works of John Singer Sargent. The instructor saw what I was looking at, and she came up to me and says, "Oh, you like Sargent?" I said, "Yeah, I like Sargent." She says, "Oh, okay." And then she didn't say anything more after that. The next day, she came back with a whole bunch of articles, and it was all these negative articles about Sargent, and then it was also promoting this other painter and how this was a better artist than Sargent, which I didn't, you know, I didn't agree. I didn't care for the other person's work. I don't have to mention it, but it's just not. It wasn't my cup of tea, you know. I mean, if that's what you like, that's fine, you know. But I think that, you know, it needs to be where, you know, you respect, especially for an art student. Like if an art student is saying what direction they want to go into, instead of trying to steer him to be like him or her to be like you encourage them in, you know, in the direction that they're going, and to say, hey, I mean, unless it's just totally out of left field, which I wouldn't know what that is, you know. But it was just one of the experiences I had with people just, you know, wanting everybody to, I don't know why they want everybody to be the same.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe just wanting you to think like they thought, as
Oh,
they
okay.
thought, you know, as they thought, you know. And a lot of people want that, you know.
Yeah, I think the thing is that once you're in college, you've lived a certain amount of years. I mean, what you've accumulated, you know, you've accumulated your own taste and stuff like that, and you should have a direction. I think there are people who go to college who, I mean, even when they're in college, they don't have a direction yet, and that's fine too. You know, maybe they'll find it in college, and that's what they're there for. And then, in that sense, the instructor can help by showing them options. You know, but I think that when you do have a direction, then it needs to be heard. You know, if you do have your direction, then instead of somebody trying to change your direction according and remake you in their image, you know, you should be encouraged to explore that direction. You might make some changes down the line that you didn't expect, but you have to give that person the opportunity to come to that decision on their own.
Okay.
lot of noise upstairs.
That was up? Oh,
Yeah, that was upstairs.
okay.
Somebody banging on our ceiling. Okay. Well, I'm actually going to finish this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I might look back later on it and see if there's anything I want to touch up, but I think I'm pretty confident this is a finish. You know. Oh. Yeah, that's good because I gotta make dinner anyway.
Okay. For regular, it says super. He says the ball went up.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'll just stop here. Yeah, I think I'll stop there. All right. Boy, it looks so, well, on my screen anyway, it looks so contrasty. It doesn't look the same. How does it look on your screen?
It looks like the subject.
Does it look like the painting, though, that I have in front of me?
Oh yeah, it does.
Okay, all right.
It does. To me, it does.
All right, all right. Well, okay, listen. Thank you guys for coming by and sharing this time with us. Again, we'll be back next Saturday. Until then, if you like, please hit like on this video. And for those who are watching it later, explore my channel. There's plenty of videos on there. I've been on there for a number of years. And but recently, we started these live sessions. So anyway, until next week, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye, guys.